Okay. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Excellent. Okay. So, give your time, give yourself a minute to think of some ideas, and then when you're ready, tell your partner 3 things, 2 truths and 1 lie. Okay, so you've got a minute to think about your statements, and when you're ready, speak to your partner. Okay? 3, 2, 1, action. Well, just thinking. Think. You might want to write them down if it's easier. It's up to you. You can write them down if it's easier. Don't copy me and say I was a 3-kilo baby. I have lived in Vietnam since I was born. Okay? You need more time? Oh, you've gone very easy. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay, when you're ready, you can tell your 3 things to your partner and see if your partner can guess which is true and which is lie. This is a speaking activity, so you need to speak to your partner, not reading. Okay, go for it. Go.
Because you said that.
Right? You have the same stuff, but here I like.
Yes,
How do you know about the first one? How can you show?
what's that?
Is that true or is that a lie? You don't know that could be true. No. You can live for a minute.
But why do you know that you got it? Why you know that you got into this stuff? And have you ever seen her? No. Have you ever seen her? The first thing I want to say is I have got a brother or sister. And the second one is I really love eating pineapple. And the last one, I don't remember last time what you eat. But all doesn't. Does it? No, it doesn't. Do you think you have to
Canada, very cold.
You didn't see interviews before. But actually, I always have a lot of free time to but I don't spend time. But I don't spend time for watching movies. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, I'm going to give you 1 minute.
You're right. Because I know it's not true, and this one
I don't know where that one's going to.
my tennis is really like muscular, athletic. I think like I'm very good at sports. Yeah.
What year were you born?
17. And I think it's good in English too. It's not good in
I'm using it. I don't need it. It doesn't. Okay, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you there. Okay, so what was your lie? Let's go around and check your lie. We start here. What was your lie? Which was your lie? What did you lie? Yes, just tell me. It's okay. What was your lie? You can't speak Chinese. That's a good lie because there is a lot of people that can speak Chinese around here. Very good, good. Okay, what was your lie?
I'm very good at playing tennis.
Oh, you're not good at playing tennis. Oh, okay. Ah, okay, excellent. Good, good, good.
Yeah, you know, right?
Yes.
Maybe on the earth about 100 years.
Her lie was, that she would live for 100 years. But that could be true. It could be. We don't know.
No.
If you're lucky, it could be. Could be. Okay. All right. I'm not going to go around everyone, but I saw some very creative lies there. So let's move on. And so I want you to think about your when you're teaching. And do you ever, you have a lesson, you spend a lot of time going over grammar, you do lots of activities to practice and present, and you have them doing speaking activities, and at the end of the lesson you think that was great, and then you come the next class and you ask them about what we did last week, and it's gone. There's nothing there. Does that ever happen with you? Usually, huh? Used to happen. So when you're teaching, you spend a lot of time and you think the students have everything, you think they've learned everything you wanted them to learn, but then at the end of it, there's nothing there. How do you feel? Disappointed? A bit worried? Is it my fault? Is it the student's fault? I feel like that. Like I want to kill myself. Not that dramatic, not really. So let's see about why that is. So we have a couple of problems. So when you're doing activities in class, students, they don't understand the answers before we move on to the next point. They're just checking the answer, right or wrong. They don't really understand why or how. And they don't have enough practice to remember the concepts before we move on. So, do you know this guy here? Jim Scrivener. He says, forget methodology, learners just need more practice. More practice. And we're going to look at what he means by practice. So I think a lot of, when you're learning to teach, a lot of the practice, there are 3 stages usually that we do. First one is kind of work alone. So when you're having them do, for example, a grammar activity, they work alone to do the answers. What's the next stage? Maybe check in pairs. So they do the activity alone, they check their answers in pairs. And finally, what do? You check in group or all of the class. So maybe you feedback as a class. I think this is the standard format for when you're doing a practice activity. And there are some problems with this format. Firstly, the one where you ask students to work alone. Do you know if they understand? No. They're working away. Do you know if they understand? No, not really. You're going around, maybe you're looking, but you can see if they're right or wrong, but do you know if they're right? Do they understand? Maybe they just guessed the answer. Maybe they just looked over and copied their friends. Very easy to do. How many students do you have? 48. So it's very, very difficult to go around and check if they understand. So this is the first stage. So there are some problems with this stage. What's the second stage? Pairs. Check in pairs. Any problems with checking in pairs that you can think of?
They want to talk with their friends.
Okay, talk, but not in English and not about the topic. Okay, so that's one issue. They check in pairs. They start talking in Vietnamese. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Anything else? Let's say that they speak in English and they're doing the activity like good students. Any other problems that there could be? Okay, so yeah, you have a stronger student and a weaker student, and the weaker student can just go right, copy the stronger student. Easy for me. Exactly, so good answer. So yeah, the weaker students, they can just copy the stronger students. So really at that time, if you're asking them to do it in pairs and then you're only really checking half of the class. You could only be checking the stronger student in the pairs. So that's the second stage. So there are some problems with that. And how about the third stage? What was that? Feedback as a class. Okay. Any problems with that? Similar to the pairs. Okay. My question is, you've got 3 ways of feedback as a class. You can show them the answers. You can ask for hands up, or you could choose a student. So if you show them the answers, you don't know if they understand. If you do hands up, who's putting their hand up? Keen, good, strong students, they're putting their hands up. The weaker students are sitting shy in the corner. What if you choose a student? When you're choosing a student for the answer, if they get it right, maybe you think, well, if they got it right, everyone got it right. If they get it wrong, you don't know if everyone's got it wrong or if you've just chosen the wrong student. It's a difficult situation. So when we're doing class feedback, there are some little problems as well. So how many students? 40? 48. Over 40. Okay. So you can see it difficult. It's difficult. So each have some problems. And students forget. They forget. They don't remember. The more the merrier. Here's an interesting looking man. His name is Herman Ebbinghaus. Do you know him? It's okay. He's a long time ago, born in 1850, died in 1909. He was a German psychologist, and he was the pioneer of something called the forgetting curve. You know, like a curve, like this. And what he did is he did an experiment, and he had a list of random words. You see where I'm going? He had a list of random words, and he tried to remember the words. And every day, he would try and read back, remember the words, say the words. And he kept a note of how many words he could remember per day. And here it is. So after one day, he'd forgotten half of the words already. And after a week, he was down to 10% of the words. Okay, so this is a very famous, the forgetting curve. So it's the same for everybody. You know, if you're just trying to remember information, this is what happens to you. So, can you remember the 10 words? Move away. Can you remember the 10 words? Can you remember? Don't write them down. Don't write them down. Say them with your partner. Can you remember the 10 words? I've seen the words about a million times and I've forgotten what they are as well. So don't worry about it. Okay? So, how many words did you remember? Between you, 8. She's got most of them. Very good. How many? 5 or 6? Oh, you 6? 5? What about you at the back? Oh, unlucky for you. Okay.
It's about 7.
7. Okay. 7. 7. 7. There we go. Okay. They've gone. They'll come back later, maybe at the end. Okay. I mentioned the name earlier, Jim Scrivener. It's a strange name. He's very famous in the ESL world. You know him? You don't know him? He's on his name is on the book we're doing today. Let me have a look. I've got one here. So he's the series editor for Personal Best, which is the book we're going to look at. He's very, very famous. He wrote this book called Learning Teaching. It's a very famous book. I will write that down. It's a very good book. Very, very good book. And he's very famous. He works for various companies, British Council. He does conferences, training all over the world. And we're going to look at his ideas about what practice should be. And he says that a correct answer is the first step towards helping students use the items. It's not the final goal. So it's often, when you're doing an activity in the book, maybe like a gap fill activity, you check the answers, move on. But actually he's saying that the answer is just the first step, and there is much more to do. And I'm sure you know this: present, practice, and produce. This PPP. So everyone knows this. So you present the information, you have the students do some controlled and then maybe freer practice, and then you have them do free production of the language. But I know from myself and from many other teachers, we spend a lot of time presenting, then we go very quickly to the last bit, okay, because we think that bit's fun, and we tend to not skip. No, skip. Shh, she didn't say skip. No, we tend to rush through the practice because we think, practice is boring. Students want to play a game to produce the language or something. So we tend to rush this part here. The idea with the Jim Scrivener and this book is that actually the practice activity is the most important part, and he believes that we should do the practice activity more than once. But we don't want students to just endlessly repeat because they will get very, very unhappy, very bored with you. So, this is the 3xp, 3 times practice approach. Firstly, you do the activity as normal. Do it as normal. Secondly, we do it with a little bit of extra challenge. And the last part is we do it again, but we personalize the language a little. Now, we're not changing the content. We don't have to produce new activities, new content. We're going to take one practice activity and we're going to adapt it and change it a little bit so that we can do these 3 stages of practice. And what happens is that you make sure that all students have a second chance and a third chance to really understand the language. We don't just check the answers and then move on. Let's play a game. We actually give everyone a chance to use the language and understand it. So we want to practice with the language more. We want to learn to say it, use it more fluently. Want to learn to say it with better pronunciation. And we want to learn to use it to express a meaning that you really want to say. So, we're going to look at grammar activities, and we're going to see how we can turn those into activities where we have the students speaking to each other, have them producing language, have them expressing themselves. Okay, how many have we got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. Good. Okay. So, practice. So we're going to do a practice now. And let's have a look. I didn't expect so many people. So you're going to do this. So I'm only going to give 1 paper per pair. That's 1 for you. Give them back. You go that way. I'll go this way. Actually, it's just easy. Can you take 1 per pair and pass them down?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a very, very simple exercise. We're practicing using enough, much, using too, using too many. So you can see what we need to do is rewrite the sentences using the words in parentheses, in brackets. So number 1, you should get more exercise. We want to use the word enough. Instead, you don't get enough exercise. Okay. What I want you to do is to work together, and I want you to write down the answers for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? So work together. Hopefully you can do this. If you can't do it, we have a problem. Extra classes. So you eat more sugar than you should. You want to use much, so let's say very easy. Right. So when you've got the answer, write down the answer.
She's too young to drive. If you want to say told instead.
Too many classes.
messy. We need more gasoline, so we don't have enough gas.
Oh, turn over, not activity 2. No. Okay, write down your answers. Good.
What's the problem?
There you go. He has the wrong paper.
Wrong paper?
Yeah, that's okay. Sorry. I took it off him and ran away.
Yes, yeah, no, they're missing.
Sorry. It's okay, don't worry about it. My mistake.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So, let's check the answers together. So, we know number 1, you don't get enough exercise. Number 2, let me choose this pair, number 2.
The answer is you eat too much sugar.
You eat too much sugar. Okay, very good. You eat too much sugar. Let me go to the next slide because I know I've got the answers here. There they are. Alright, number 3. Let's go this pair. Yes?
She isn't old enough to drive.
She isn't old enough to drive. Very good. In Vietnam, that's not true because everyone can drive. No problem. Okay, she isn't old enough to drive. Number 4, using noisy. Over here. Ooh, that's... It isn't noisy enough to work, or it's too noisy to work. What about number 5? Yeah. Unless you like to work in a very noisy place, then you need it really noisy so that you can work. Okay, number 5, we need more gasoline. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, yes? We don't have enough gasoline, good. And number 6, make a simple sentence over here.
Me?
Yes, please.
Yes, okay. There are too many cars on the road.
Excellent. There are too many cars on the road. There we go. These are the answers. You don't get enough exercise. You eat too much sugar. She's not old enough to drive. It's too noisy to work. We don't have enough gasoline. And there are too many cars on the road. Okay. Take the paper and put it away. Turn it over. Turn it over. Put it under the bag. Hide it. Hide the paper. Hide your paper. Hide it. Hide the paper. I don't want to see that paper. Hide the paper. Good. Okay. Practice 2. Here are the answers. Can you remember the original sentences? Now, if you can't remember, I want you to look at remember your answers, which I'm sure they're here for you. Can you remember the original sentences? Okay. Work together. Try and remember the original sentences. See if you can write. See if you can write them down.
Yeah, sure.
If you can't remember, try and guess. Think back. If you're not exactly right, that's okay. Forgetting my microphone. Keep forgetting my microphone. It's very difficult. If you can't remember exactly, it's okay to guess. There are lots of. Oh. Easy? Difficult? It's difficult to remember, but I think if you use your knowledge of the language and kind of try and go back, I think it's okay. If your answer is not exact, it's fine. I just want to see the process in your mind to try and go back and reverse and see if you can do it. Very quickly, what is the first one? You don't get enough exercise. What is the first sentence? Any ideas? You forgot that one already. The forgetting curve is getting steeper and steeper. It's not 1 day, it's 1 minute. You should exercise more. You should get more exercise. There we go, yes. The original sentence was you should get more exercise. Okay, very quickly, I'll give you 2 minutes. Try and finish the other ones. And don't worry if you're not exact. It's okay. You should eat more sugar? Okay. I thought you said you should eat more sugar. That's terrible advice. You should more sugar than you should. You eat more sugar than you should. You eat more sugar than you should. Okay. Are we going with that one? You eat more sugar than you should. Anybody else? Anybody else want to volunteer at the back? The second one? What was the original sentence? At the back, what's your idea? You should eat less sugar? That's all of the answers. I'm not showing you that again. Let's go one by one. Okay, she's not old enough to drive. What was that? She's too young to drive. Okay. It's too noisy to work. Okay, say again.
It's not quiet enough to work.
Okay, it's not quiet enough, or it isn't quiet enough to work. Okay. We don't have enough gasoline. Let me choose a volunteer. At the back, I want at the back. They're very shy at the back. You need more gasoline, or we need more gasoline. Okay. There are too many cars on the road. This one's difficult. Very long sentence. Really? Let me ask this pair here. Not yet. This road has more cars than, oh yes, than it should have, maybe. Okay. There are
more cars on the road than the city.
than the city should have. That's excellent. That's a good answer. Than the city should have. Excellent. Then, yeah, then there should be. Okay. Let's check the answers. So you eat more sugar than you should. She's too young to drive. It isn't quiet enough to work. We need more gasoline, and there are more cars on the road than there should be. Okay. But you used your language knowledge, and you used your creativity, and you said there are more cars on the road than the city should have. And I like that idea because it's true. Okay. So first practice we did as normal. Second practice we do a little extra challenge. And in the third practice, think of a sentence with a similar meaning using the target language. We want to use too much, too many, not enough, and too and an adjective, okay? We want a similar meaning, but not exact. Let me give you an example. You don't do enough exercise. How about you spend too much time sitting on the sofa? Similar meaning? Similar meaning. Bit more creative. What I want you to do, work together and be creative. Try and write similar sentences with similar meaning using this language here. Okay? And I'll give you 5 minutes. Work together. Be creative. That's okay. You can be creative. Okay, good. If you can, try and make 2 sentences for each one. If you can. Okay? Chocolate. Think about what you can use, what words. Yeah. So. Try not to copy the old sentence. I'm going to help you think about something that has a lot of sugar. Something that has a lot of sugar. Be creative. Yeah.
Too many.
Say now you've gone quiet. Okay. And stop. Use the microphone. Everyone can hear me. And stop for 1 minute. Stop. So, you don't do enough exercise. You spend too much time sitting on the sofa. Let's make a sentence for this. Can we make one more sentence for this? You spend too much time sitting on the sofa. Can we make another Yes. You are a couch potato. Excellent. I like it. I like it a lot, but I want you to use too many, too much, not enough, and too and an adjective. But I like it. You are a couch potato. Make another sentence. You are a couch potato because you don't play enough sports, or something like that. Or you play too many computer games.
It takes you too much time to sitting on the sofa.
Okay, so you spend too much time sitting on the sofa. You could say you spend too much time playing online games. You don't spend enough time playing sports or something like that. What about the second one?
You should eat less sugar.
Okay, I want to use these language here. Too much, too many, not enough, and too and an adjective. Okay, you shouldn't eat too much sugar. Very similar. Can you change it? What has a lot of sugar? Candy.
First was, if you eat too much candy, you will get very fat.
Very good. If you eat too much candy, you'll get very fat. Excellent. So candy. What about something else? Ice cream.
You eat too many ice cream, which is not good for your teeth.
You eat too many ice creams, which is not good for your teeth. Excellent. You eat too much.
Eating too much sugar is not good for your health.
Wow, very good. Eating too much sugar is not good for your health. Excellent. Also, you don't eat enough vegetables. Similar meaning. It's kind of in the same area. Unhealthy eating. All right. So these are examples for these two. So I want you to work on these. Remember, not exactly the same meaning. Similar idea. Okay? I'll give you 5 minutes to work together. Try and do it. I know this one's difficult. I know it. Okay? Why not? She's too small to drive. I know, I see her on a big bike and the legs are hanging off. What's another word for noisy? Okay, there we go. Ah, excellent. Yep, that's good for me. Okay. Shall we check now? I'll give you a bit more time. Ah. Oh. You've added something to the original sentence. Okay. Let's have a look. She's not old enough to drive. What did you say?
She's too young. If she tries, it will be dangerous.
She's too young to drive. She's too young. It'll be dangerous. Very good. She's too young. If she drives, it will be dangerous. Excellent. I've seen the students wearing their school uniform, driving their motorbike. Maybe they're 15, 14 years old. Okay. Anybody else? What did you say here? She's too small to drive. Why not? That's quite funny. Yes. Because she's too... Okay, excellent. Ah, it's too dangerous for her to drive. Excellent, very good. All right, next one. It's too noisy to work. There is too much noise to work. There is too much the same. What was yours here? Read yours for me.
I cannot work because it is too loud.
I cannot work because it is too loud. Excellent. Yes. In my office now, we have construction next to our office. So in my office, there's a lot of construction work, so it's too loud and I can't work. You can be creative with this. Vietnam is a very noisy country. There is too much noise. There are too many motorbikes. All right, we don't have enough gasoline.
There isn't enough gasoline for me to drive for a long distance.
Okay, good. There isn't enough gasoline for me to drive for a long distance. Excellent. I was driving to school and my motorbike stopped because I didn't have enough gasoline. Okay? There are too many cars on the road. Well, I know we can change cars to another word. Motorbikes. There are too many traffic jams. Yes. Well, there we go. There are too many traffic jams. There are too many motorbikes. There are not enough traffic police. You can be very creative with this. I know that your students would like the opportunity to be creative in this kind of way. So, we had 3 practices. We had 1 where we do it as normal. We had 2 where we have an extra little challenge. And then we had number 3 where we have a kind of personalized, be creative with the language. Did it feel like doing the same exercise 3 times? No, it's different. Yeah, it's different. And do you think that kind of repetition would help your students understand the language? I hope you say yes. Please say yes. Don't say no. And did you enjoy that? Say yes, please. Yes, thank you very much. Did you enjoy that? I could see you enjoying the second activity. The third activity was a bit more challenging. But I think with your students, once they're used to that kind of activity, it becomes easier and easier and easier for them. Okay. I'm going to just go to the book for a second because today we're taking these activities from the book called Personal Best. Do you know what personal best means? All right. Who's this? It's a child. Who is it? It's very famous. Any guesses? No idea? Okay. How about now? Who is this? Not marathon, not marathon. Very fast. Usain Bolt. Okay. So, Usain Bolt started off as a youngster running, always trying to improve and get faster and faster. And the term personal best means the best that you can do. So athletes, they have the personal best. So his personal best, okay, I can run 100 meters in 10 seconds. But then he wants to beat his personal best and keep going and keep improving. And, you know, he has 9 gold medals from the Olympics. 9 gold medals. He has the world record, the fastest time for 100 and 200 meters. So his personal best is the best you can get. He kept trying to improve it. And that's the idea with where the name personal best comes from. So that students are always striving to improve on what they've done. And you can see in the teacher's book, we have this 3 times practice, and we give instructions for the teachers. And this is very similar to what we just did, a little bit different. But you can see there's a few differences. But all the way through the book, when you have a controlled practice activity, you'll find instructions for these extra practices, okay? And they're very useful for the students. All right. Now it's your turn. So I've given you the this activity. I think if you turn your paper over, you'll find it. Okay? So what I want you to do is to work together and turn this activity into a 3XP activity. I want you to think about one practice activity as normal, number 2 with extra challenge, and number 3, personalized, be creative. So you have these 5 questions. Work together. Try and think about how you can make this into a 3XP activity. Okay? I'll give you quite a bit of time to work together. So as normal, extra challenge, and personalized.
So is this considered as normal, or?
Yeah, that would be as. You don't have to think too much about as normal.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something.
No.
Okay.
Think about number 2 and number 3. How can you do that extra challenge, and how can you personalize?
To just fill in the gaps.
That's number 1
That's what
sorted.
he's saying.
Yeah. Number 1 as normal. Don't worry about number 1.
So I'm just reading here through to see what the focus is.
So what will you do for extra challenge, and what will you do for personalization? As normal, don't worry about it. What about how can we make this challenging?
This one we had to remember
How if you're struggling for ideas, these are some things that you can think about using. These are some ideas that you can use. So you can think about using it as speaking practice, pronunciation as well. It's tough. Yeah, that's why we have the teacher's book.
Yeah. Short of just repeating what you just did, which I don't want to do, but
So you can repeat it with a Don't worry, we're going to have a break in 10 minutes.
I mean, one thing you could do is all of these sentences. So, if I had more time, I could do it. You take too many risks. Be careful. I would take a jacket. Maybe a jacket. It's cold tomorrow. I'll walk to work. Wear those shoes for your interview. These ones. Reword the sentence. It's almost the same words, right? Just flipping them around. So I'll walk to work if the bus doesn't come. I'll take a jacket. It's cold.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there, and I'm going to ask you about the second one, the extra challenge. So as normal, okay, we don't worry, we just do the answers, you can do it on your own, do it prepared. What about extra challenge? Any ideas? Any ideas that you could do?
I just come up with the new idea, but I don't know that whether it's suitable or not.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I give the student their situation.
Yeah.
For example, for number one,
Yeah.
I say that I always have an argument with my sister, and I required all of them to change the sentence into if sentence.
Okay. So you would give them a new sentence and make them change that into an if.
Yes.
Maybe that would be part 3. I think that's a big, that's a big jump from this to that. All right. Any other ideas? What would you do? Anything else? It's quite. I know it's hard. It's not easy. Huh? Look, that's why we have the teacher's book. Yes.
Yes, for the first one, I think I will ask students to complete these 5 sentences as on the slide.
Yeah.
For the second one,
Yeah.
I ask them to paraphrase the 5 sentences.
You ask them to paraphrase.
Make another sentence with
Okay.
a similar meaning.
Similar meaning.
With the original sentence.
Ah,
in
okay.
the exercise 1 to 5.
Yeah.
And the final one,
Yeah.
I need my students to create their own new sentence with the conditional types, type 1,
Yeah.
type 2, and
Yeah.
should.
Okay. Good. So can you give me an example of the extra challenge. What would your extra challenge be as an example? What would
Okay,
it be?
for the sentence number 3 is
Yeah.
F is called tomorrow or 4. If the bus come late, I will walk to school.
Okay,
That's also
so
right.
excellent. So you taking that sentence, making a little change to make it same meaning but a little different. So if the bus comes late, I'll walk to work. Excellent. So you do the same for all of these. Okay, good. Any other ideas? Or shall I just give you the answers? I know we're nearly break time, so I'm just going to be nice and give you the answers. So this is from the book. So obviously number 1, do the exercises normal, blah blah blah. Number 2, students work in pairs to rewrite each correct sentence from the exercise, changing some of the details. For example, I'd learn to play the guitar if I had more time. If you go back, I'd get together with her if I had more time. Similar to what you were saying, change something to make it a little bit different. Now, number 3, we've gone in a different direction. Point out that item 5 is a short dialogue. Ask students to work in their pairs to extend the dialogue using more of the structures tested in the exercise. Challenge them to use as many of the structures as they can and allow them to practice in pairs and ask them to perform their dialogues for the class. So that's gone in a slightly different direction. So you can see number 5, I have an interview today, how do I look? I don't think you should wear those shoes. What do you think I should wear? I think you should wear the black shoes. How about this shirt? I don't think you should wear that shirt. I think it's really ugly. Oh, should I wear the pink shirt? Yes, wear the pink shirt. So you can have the students extend this very simple dialogue, and they can still use the target language, should, shouldn't, and then have them acting that out in class. Lucky for you, the teacher's book has these suggestions, these ideas for you to try. But in your mind, I want you to think, well, I want to do it a different way, and I want you to think that, you know, be creative, and if you have an idea you think is better, then you try and do it in class. But think about this 3 stages of practice. Okay, so take a break. I'm going to take a break now. 15 minutes for break. Okay.
So we have some cake and cookie for you.
Cookies!
I don't know yet, maybe cake is right. And there's a toilet snack here, and then if you need that is right, just get out of the room and it's on your right.
Thank you.
And we are going to change the way we use the camera here. We put it over here, right?
Oh, good.